Yo, you made it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here this Friday. I know it has been a long work day for some. GeekBeast. That's all you can say. GeekBeast.
It's been a long work day. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm having a little bit of a problem with some audio real quick. I should be all right. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Now I can hear everybody. Hey, Chuck, man, yo, welcome
What's
back,
going
man.
on?
Every time I see your face, it's been so long that you were gone. Every time I see it, it's almost like I'm seeing it brand new for the first time all over
Really?
again, man.
I know. I just looked at sexy. I get it. I get it. I get it. I got candle lights on now. Got my candlelight on. Oh yeah.
Yo, I see you over there getting the ambiance ready.
Yeah, it's ready. It's ready.
Yo, happy Friday, everybody. Hey, and welcome to Geek Beast. This is your daily rundown of geeks that look like you, geeks that look like me, and geeks that look like, yo, my man that I've been talking to nonstop, Chuck the Black Lion himself. What's going on with you, fam?
Not much, man. Just, happy it's Friday. It's an eventful weekend I have ahead of me, but yeah, I'm excited.
Good.
I'm excited
That's
as
nice.
usual.
Yo, if you're new to the show, we cover the Geek News Beat and we share our opinions with you. As you can see, we happen to be people of color. That is one of the beautiful things about the Geekish Network is that we really support and go out of our way for geeks, nerds, spazzes, rejects, lovers of comic books, sci-fi, video games,
And
people of
misfits.
color in that space. We represent it on Fridays. Fridays are our happy hour where we get a chance to let our hair down and just talk that ish about the geek news stream. Now, because it is a happy hour Friday, we typically talk about what we are sipping on this evening. You know, typically they are adult beverages, but sometimes, you know, you can kind of chill out and just have yourself a splash of V8 and kind of get by. So, Chuck, what are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on Japanese whiskey with ginger beer.
Nice.
That's what I'm.
Excellent.
That's what I'm getting by on. It's an American elixir that is there to increase your mana.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. There you go. Increase your mana in case you start shooting ice spells and electricity at somebody. Everybody in the chat, if you happen to be. Yeah, that's true. No, if you happen to be in the chat and you are sipping on something, please drop what it is that you are sipping on in the chat so we can celebrate you. Fortunately, today I am not drinking alcohol. I am drinking tea because it is cold over here. I know what you're saying. Why you got on a short sleeve shirt and everything? It's because I want to be able to flex and move right in my own skin, and I have this tea to help me out with it too. It's nice and green.
Flex it.
Kind of help things going. Hey, so the news source today, Newsday, has been a little sparse today. You know, everybody's out enjoying their beautiful Fridays, but it doesn't mean we don't have any news. And one of the big headlines for today is dealing with Deadpool, and Deadpool 3's development has picked up a new director for the sequel. So according to Hollywood Reporter, Marvel Studios has tapped Sean Levy to help the Ryan Reynolds-led Deadpool 3-quel. Levy, who directed two recent films starring Reynolds' 20th Century Free Guy and Netflix's The Atom Project, recently expressed interest in tackling the Merc with the mouth next. So Reynolds himself celebrated the news on social media, writing, "The third film in my Sean Levy trilogy will be a tad bit more stabby." Of course, this is typical in Ryan Reynolds fashion. I got a chance to check out the first one, Free Guy, which was a ton of fun. And if you haven't experienced one of Levy's projects before, you'll get the opportunity this weekend because the Atom Project is going to be released on Netflix. I think it's already out. I think it came out
today.
morning.
So I'm really excited about it. It came out this morning.
Now you have seen Free Guy, right? You saw Free Guy. What'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed Free Guy. I thought it was enjoyable. They had what's his name? Tahiti Watiti. He was in it as well. I thought he wrote it, but he didn't apparently. I'm excited to see because Free Guy kind of did feel like a Deadpoolish. Like it was like Deadpool meets Lego movie feel to it. That's what it felt like. It
didn't have as much bloodthirst because he was playing like the blue shirt guy was more pacifist. As for Deadpool, just kind of murders everything in his path.
In the Atom Project, and I'm excited about the Atom Project.
Yeah,
it also has somebody from the Marvel Adventures in it. Zoe Saldana's in it too.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Zoe.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with her at all. Even if she does a horrible job acting, she looks good. She's gonna
Yes,
look good doing it.
exactly.
She's gonna look good doing it.
Exactly. Regardless of how you feel,
Now, guys, how you feel about
she
her
will
acting? She's
entertain
gonna
your
look good
eyeballs.
doing it.
Yeah, I promise you, there's probably gonna be some people that are gonna have issues with her being on it. But get over it. You'll be fine. Zoe's not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Saldana. Huge shout out to the chat. Defunk said, he said, I put on shorts to go out for the first time in a long time here in Florida. Yeah, I know. Florida.
Yeah.
It's 80 degrees out here and I can wear shorts. Hey, look at me. I live in Los Angeles and I can wear shorts. And yeah, so nobody care.
You can wear shorts in Colorado right now. You can wear shorts in Denver if you want to. I don't suggest you do it, but you can do it. Defunk also said, "Word, I jokingly call Free Guy Disney's live action Lego movie remake. It is. It's that." And Pawan, what's up to you, Pawan? Pawan came into the chat today, so it's an awesome day of chatting. Yeah.
Happy Friday to you.
I'm excited about that.
I'm
I'm definitely excited about this third Deadpool. I like the first two. And I know Ryan Reynolds gets kind of monotonous and boring with the jokes. So they can reshoot him over and over again because he's in a mask. So they can always punch up the jokes. So when his jokes land flat, they have somebody in the right room write up a new joke for him. He can go in there and punch it in.
Or you just go in the recording booth and voice over some of those jokes.
Punch it in. Well. Just punch it in. Hey.
Same thing. I'm trying to think. I don't really remember a whole lot of Levy's other previous films. I'd probably have to actually IMDb it in order to get a good idea of what he's doing.
Well, why you do that? I will IMDb him.
He is definitely getting put on. It's one of those things where the right person, you can get on and stay on. Ryan Reynolds has a lot of faith in him. I guess he makes sure he shoots him in a positive light because 3 in a row this fast, that's saying something.
Yeah, Ryan likes him. Oh, he did. He's a producer. He's a producer. Oh man, turned filmmaker. Oh wow, he's a super producer. Okay,
really?
He has 43 directing credits. So
give me 2 projects on my record. I might remember or recognize.
A couple episodes of Stranger Things.
That's not bad.
Real Steel 2, Ripple, Starman.
What was it? Real Steel 2?
Sesame Street, The Boogeyman, Crater, Night at the Museum.
He directed that. Okay.
He produced it. He's producer. He was post-production producer. Shadow and Bone. He was the executive producer of Shadow and Bone.
But I'm trying to see what his
Free Guy. He produced Free Guy. Last Man Standing TV show. Dash and Lily. Unsolved Mysteries, the remakes of those. So his production credits are extensive. And his director credits, Starman, did a bunch of other stuff. Stranger Things. He did 8 episodes of Stranger Things.
Okay, so that's probably what got his chops up more so than a lot of the other things.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, he did an episode there for them.
Okay.
Night of the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. He was a director for that. Family Trap, the TV movie. Okay.
All right. Well, nice, not bad. Like I said, to me, he was a bit of a new name for me. But who else here is going to be, if you had to spend your time this weekend and only could pick one of the 2 big ones between Red or the Adam Project? Which one?
Turning Red and Adam Project.
Yeah, Turning Red.
Yeah, I'm going with the Adam Project. I had that one when I saw that long Netflix trailer, what they had coming. That one had me quite excited.
Okay. We'll see.
So I'm really excited about that.
I think I'm probably a little more excited about the Adams Project. I'm still coming off the cuffs of Free Guy, and I just really enjoyed it. So we'll see. Hey, so with Deadpool's project,
Rodney said Turning Red. Turning Red is interesting too, because I know it's going to be a great Pixar film.
Yeah, Pixar very rarely disappoints. They don't make bad films. They may, at most, make an okay film, but they don't make bad films.
So. They don't make anything bad. Yeah, all their films have meaning too. So
yeah.
Like Turning Red is about Asian girl going through puberty.
Hey, what is it? There's a young lady's coming of age tale then, right?
Yep. The young woman's coming
Okay.
of age tale.
All right, I'm here for that too. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always
The
in
Funk
anything
said
to
he
get me chilling on my
prioritizes
inside.
turning red. He's prioritizing turning red. But I'm with you. Free Guy got me amped. So I just watched it last week. So I'm here for another Ryan Reynolds film. But his last Netflix film was not that good.
Well, Red Notice, was that what it was? No.
It
Yeah, it
was
was
like,
Red Notice, right? No.
no, I don't know.
Yeah, it
Ryan.
was him, Gal Gadot, and The
Yeah.
Rock. I think they did.
So that
I think
one
they
was
did Red
good. The
Notice.
one before that, I think, where he's like there's six thieves trying to doing stuff. They're
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, he was one of the very first to drop like a blockbuster-ish, filmish kind of movie on Netflix. He kind of
he
like
was.
got it going. I do remember it was filled with action. I do remember it being like non-stop action. I do remember that. I can't think of the name of it. But you are right about that.
It's like Ocean's 11.
Let me let me ask you regarding like I don't want to go too deep into the weeds because I know you have to be very careful regarding this. Is this Deadpool movie it's going to be coming on Disney Plus, right? Because that's like the new consensus that Disney Plus is going to start taking a lot of these works, regardless of the mature content, right?
Yes, yeah. I think
Okay.
I think it's gonna go into theaters. Then they're gonna put it on Disney Plus. I think this one makes Deadpool makes the theaters.
Okay. All right.
You know, it's
That's
only
gonna
people
be
of
an
color. It's
interest.
only people of color content that goes straight to DVD and theaters. I'm just saying, Disney. I'm just saying. There's a pattern here, and we see it. Some of us notice it.
So yeah, I mean, I am gonna be curious.
Six Underground is the movie.
That's it. Six Underground.
Yeah, it's a long movie
I'm
too.
gonna be curious to see how Deadpool, blends in with the rest of Disney Plus's content. We just did a review on another Marvel project that I think was R-rated as well. That came out on Hulu called
Hit Monkey.
Oh my gosh, Hit Monkey. Yes, pretty obscure comic that ended up getting a green light to have an animation done on it. It was tons of fun. It wasn't without its problems, but it was tons of fun. What is there a project that could come out on Disney Plus that would absolutely totally turn it into the next HBO Max as far as this is no longer a kids channel? Like for me, Deadpool 3 might be that, and then of course for me, maybe The Punisher. I'm trying to think of like Marvel projects where it's like really difficult to save the children's eyes from these horrible adult themes. How about you all in the chat, man? Now that Disney is considering opening their doors to Disney Plus subscribers getting more adult-oriented content, what would you like to see on Disney Plus? Keep in mind that they manage a lot of different properties. You have the Star Wars properties, which are all PG-13. Marvel, which could be a little risque at times. Pixar's not going anywhere, but I'm just trying to think. It's just something to chew on while we're over here sipping on all of this. Yeah.
I mean, they could do an adult Howard the Duck.
You know what? I think
Howard the Duck, because he's
that's
racy.
a very interesting conversation. Yes, and he drinks a lot, and he's foul mouthed.
He smokes.
Yeah, they'd probably have an alcoholic on there before they had a smoker on there. I remember one of our co-stars, Bingeworthy Courtney, had brought up a really good, interesting concept, and that is Jessica Jones. She's an alcoholic. She is dealing with emotional trauma. She's been dealing with abuse. She's got a foul mouth as well. That is definitely not necessarily, an easy crossover. Let's see. Powell and Yadav said, yo, how's the Adam Project? Is it good to watch? That's a really good question because we don't know. It just came out this morning. I'm hoping somebody can give me an idea. Yeah, I haven't even heard too many people on the Twitter space talking too much about it. I was about to say, let me hop back into one of these news things real quick. Keep it moving. Hey, so the Discovery shareholders approve a Warner Media merger. So insane. So Discovery, which is a company that you don't really think about has deep pockets like that. Discovery just announced that its stockholders have approved its merger with AT&T's Warner Media to create Warner Brothers Discovery, a premier global entertainment company. So this transition will bring together Warner Media's entertainment, sports, and news assets with Discovery's leading nonfiction and international entertainment and sports business. Um, Discovery got deep pockets like that? Where?
They raised 30 billion to do it in debt to do it for this 43 billion
Wow.
dollar deal. And I find it quite interesting. AT&T looked at Time Warner and was like, "You all are a toxic asset. We're gonna get rid of you, and we're gonna sell you to Discovery." Like
Huh.
AT&T decided to get rid of Time Warner.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So I wonder if AT&T, because they had the audience list of channels, which was their straight streaming version of Netflix on cable. So they had their own version of Netflix on cable, and it
Mm-hmm.
was audience. So I find this
Mm-hmm.
very interesting that they're giving away that property, all those properties, because that means that includes Cartoon Network, Food
Mm-hmm.
Network, um,
Yeah.
or Wizarding
Yeah.
World, Adult Swim, Animal Planet,
Yeah.
TLC. It's 100 brands under that Time Warner belt that they're just like Turner Sports,
Yeah.
TNT. That means NBA goes with them. So Discovery's about to be lit.
I had no idea that Discovery would pivot and make moves like that. So the $43 billion combination, which will create a massive new player on the media and entertainment landscape, is expected to close early in the second quarter. So Discovery was raising 30 billion in a debt offering closing later this month to pay for it. The new deal now calls for AT&T to technically offload its former Time Warner Entertainment assets to shareholders through a spinoff. Um, wow. I mean, people are just merging, coming together.
Yeah.
Content is king right now,
This
especially in these interesting times. People are
and
spending a lot more time on their devices.
this is the big one, right? AT&T acquired Time Warner in 2018 to the fanfare of $83 billion.
Mm,
And so a long drawn out battle, the Department of Justice, even get that. They got sued and tried to break it up. It found itself saddled with debt and facing ongoing big investments in content and streaming on the entertainment side, alongside the massive outlay for spectrum and rolling out 5G. The combination confused some longtime investors, and its move to cut a long, steady dividend disappointed shareholders. So the shareholders are like, look, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that company. We don't need it. You need to focus on your 5G rollout because you failed at it. You suck at it. It's kind of
so it's
how the shareholders wanted Microsoft to get rid of Xbox, which now is the most profitable portion of their company
mm.
with Ultimate Game Pass.
Right. Yeah.
So
Huh.
maybe if AT would have held on to it, they could have made something out of it. Who knows? But when they lost their third
Hmm.
of the share to Hulu, they sold it to Disney. So this is interesting.
Everybody's jockeying for position.
Yep. Or
It's an arms
getting
race
rid
of
of it. Like,
content.
you know what? This is not for
Mm-hmm.
us. This is not the business we're in.
Mm, mm,
It happens.
mm. Well, other studios are also making interesting moves in Studio Ghibli. Is that how you pronounce it? That's
Studio Ghibli. Yep.
yeah. Studio
Mhm.
Ghibli Spirited Away comes to life with puppets.
Yeah, it's a puppet.
So
It says
originally
it's a
released in
stage
2020,
show.
originally released in 2001, Spirited Away is beloved by fans and critics alike, and the award-winning film showed the depth of its brilliance of Hayao. I'm absolutely butchering this man's name.
Hayao.
Miyazaki, yeah.
Hayao.
Creating a live action stage show version that was challenging, made even more so by the pandemic and the travel ban. Also, a live puppet version of the content of Spirited Away. That seems like it could be interesting. You know what? I used to
Yeah.
have doubts with puppet shows. And I remember when they made the announcement that they were going to turn The Lion King into a musical, and they were going to use a lot of puppets to emulate some of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how is that going to translate? And then I saw it and was blown away, absolutely blown away. So I am not doubting this project at all. It sounds like something that could be like uh must see screen time if you're still going out into the world and checking out plays and stuff. Have you seen some of the images that they've
Yeah,
displayed?
yeah, I've
Let me go
seen
ahead and
them.
put some
I've
of
seen them. He's
let me
pulling
put
them up.
some of
They're
this in the
nice.
chat so that
They're nice.
you could jump in there. Yeah, some of the
I
images, some of the puppets look really
Yeah, they look
incredible.
really, really good. I'm excited. I love puppet shows. I mean, I go see Sesame Street here if I in LA, so I've seen Sesame Street, and I went to the
Mm,
Muppets. So I'm really big on puppets. I think puppets are very magical. People that do
well,
them right. I
yeah,
have a couple of friends
it,
in the puppet consortium,
mhm.
and I talk about doing a puppet show all the time with them. I wish I had a stage, a studio to do a puppet show because I would a VR
Yeah,
puppet show. That's what I want to
when
do.
done right, it looks really cool. I
Hmm.
remember just recently, Netflix had a reintroduction of the Dark Crystal, and they went back to Jim Henson's old company, if I remember right, in
Jim
order
and
to get it done.
Studios. Yep.
Um, it didn't get a lot of publicity for whatever reason. I don't know why, but
It's on
the few
Netflix.
episodes, the few episodes that I did watch, it looked amazing. It was really incredible. Some of the things that they could do. So much so that you forget that some of the things are on strings, and some of these creatures have hands up their backside, flapping their gums. You're just that involved in the storytelling.
Yeah.
I look at it. I look at some of the images right here, and it reminded me a lot of I'm sorry, The Lion King as well, regarding like some of the animals where you actually see the people manipulating some of the puppets and stuff. But the manipulation is so done, your brain just kind of forgets that you see these people doing these things, right?
Hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
man.
I think there's not enough puppets. I think there's too much CG in a lot of films. They'd probably be
Mhm.
done better if they used puppets. I think some of the
So,
puppetry is missing from film. So there's a lot of practical effects that you
mhm.
just can't beat. Actually creating something you can't beat it sometimes.
So you're more of a fan of puppet Yoda versus CGI Yoda.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. CGI Yoda looks like a cartoon character. Puppet Yoda looks good. I mean, look at Grogu. Grogu's a puppet.
Yes. Yeah.
And
They
he
go back to that.
wins. Gizmo is a puppet.
You definitely took it back. You
Yeah,
know
I
what? I
mean,
wouldn't. Why haven't they tried to remake Gremlins? Why hasn't
I
that
don't
happened?
know. I don't know. There's rumors. It's always been thrown around that they're going to remake Gremlins, but with the
Hmm.
love that Grogu gets, Grogu's just
Hmm.
Gizmo without no but green. You put their images side by side. They look almost alike.
Yeah. But Grogu is also an easy out because he doesn't really have a lot of actions. He moves extremely so much so that in one of the episodes of Boba Fett, they had like a bit of a tongue-in-cheek moment when he's walking with Luke, and Luke has to actually use the Force to pick him up and move him along because he moves so slowly.
Slow, yeah.
Um, so okay, so during that, I forgot which episode it was when we got a chance to see Yoda jump around. I think it was like episode two, maybe episode two, episode three, when I think he's fighting General Grievous, I think is what it was, and he's like bouncing all over the place and doing all these flips and spins and all this other stuff. That's kind of tough to do with a puppet.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be CG the whole
Mhm.
entire time. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be all puppet the whole entire time. It could be real. Like when I saw David Bowie kick the Muppet in
Mhm.
Labyrinth, that was real. If he kicked the CG object, it wouldn't have looked as real as it did when he sat there and sung a song and kicked the puppet. You know, and the one thing of that I give to not Labyrinth, but to Dark Crystal is as
Mhm.
grotesque as those puppets look, they looked real. They're like real
Yeah.
creatures.
Yeah. Was it the Skeksis? I think that was the name
Yeah,
of
the
one of the.
Skeksis, they look like
Yeah,
real
they look
creatures.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did look
and I think
crazy.
that's one reason it didn't do well too, because Dark Crystal has grotesque creatures in it, and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
people like scary things, but people don't like grotesque things.
Yeah, and it was a very, first of all, it was a very brave and challenging project for Jim Henson's company to even embark upon when they created the original Dark Crystal. And if I remember right, it was not successful. Um, it was a theatrical flop. But and then for them to still take that L, keep going, and it became like a niche kind of love thing. It was like certain types of people really enjoyed the Dark Crystal, and I feel like that kind of happened again during this reintroduction to Netflix. It's not a lot of people just rock with it. You know, the storytelling is different.
Yeah, it was like the Happy Time Murders came out. That's a Henson project.
Right, it was. Yeah, it caught a lot of flack for the adult themes. Yeah, for the adult themes of
project. And it was good. I loved it. Avenue Q is not a Henson project, but the puppets are in Henson Muppet style.
Yeah, Avenue Q came out like the late 90s, and it ruffled a lot of feathers. I remember.
Was so good.
That was a Broadway show, right? It was a Broadway show.
Everybody's a racist. Everybody's a little racist.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know.
All right, so I hear. Okay, first I got a question to the chat. Let's see, CGI Yoda versus Baby Yoda. Which one are you going with? I want to hear what people are saying in the chat. And also, there was an old school beloved Jim Henson project that I absolutely love that's coming back. Fraggle Rock, man. Did you used to rock with Fraggle Rock back in the day?
Oh yeah, I used to watch Fraggle Rock with Fraggle Rock. It used to come on right before we had to go to church though, so I never got to the end of an episode. I always got a little bit past the Doozer segment because they always talked about
the Doozers.
But by that time, my mother was forcing us to get in the car, and I was prolonging by putting on lotion and stuff so I can watch a little bit more Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, man, the Doozers. I remember something about the trash heap was just disturbing to me as a child, man. Watching this fat thing in the trash, you know, and they were like the soothsayer per se, right? They were the person that you went to for advice, but you had to get past like the gargoyle looking things in the backyard in order to get to the trash heap. Yeah, well. Dang, I'm really having some flashbacks of nostalgia. Fraggle Rock is coming back, everybody. Huge shout out to the chat again. Defunct said, people forget that Muppets are for adults and Sesame Street was spun off for kids.
Yeah.
If you go chance and maybe even YouTube some of Jim Henson's earlier work. He had puppets selling cigarettes.
Yeah.
So
he was very adult.
Jim Henson was always about talking to adults, right?
Yeah, Muppets were mature puppets.
Yeah.
That's basically what they were. They're older puppets. And people care to forget Peter Jackson's first work. He was like a puppet show.
Oh, the Frighteners? I think that was his first one. Was
no.
It was before the Frighteners? Wow. Okay. I could believe that.
And he was making fun of Jim Henson. What's the name of it? Let me get the name of it. Meet the Feebles. If you haven't seen Meet the Feebles, y'all should see Meet the Feebles. Have your brain messed up. There's hookers and all this hooker puppets and all kinds of stuff. There's murder, mayhem in it. Oh yeah, Meet the Feebles is wild.
Okay. All right. There we go. Shout out to the chat again. Yo, the fuck said as much as I dislike Yoda, I was surprised to become so enamored with Baby Yoda. Yeah, I mean, you know, big ears, cute smile, cute little sounds that it makes. How can you not love him? All right. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the ball off to you because there's some interesting technology that hit the scene, and this is absolutely
Meet the Feebles right there.
Your wheelhouse. There is a Mr. Feebles. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I see it playing right there. I didn't know anything about this. This is all brand new to me. Peter Jackson is definitely in his bag right now.
Yeah, you got to see it.
That looks actually kind of terrifying.
You ain't ready for it. Y'all ain't ready for it.
No, I definitely was not expecting that. What is going on? Yo, is that bear orgasming?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Okay, so there we go. In case you're aboard this weekend, check out the Feebles, and you can see talking flies and weird walruses doing things. Yo, it's still going. I can't turn away. Look at this hippo.
You can't turn away from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You've had enough. You had enough.
I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out on that. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Oh, shoot.
Yo, I was gonna change gears real quick because
go ahead, change gears.
I need a palate cleanse, like a visual palate cleanser. Yo, I was going to talk about something that's in your wheelhouse, man. There's a piece of technology that came out that has some people talking about it, and it's dealing with augmented reality. And this project was called Magic Leap, and they came out with a second version of Magic Leap. All right, so let's talk to the people and say and ask, and why is this some important information that we should be paying attention to?
Okay, because Magic Leap raised like $3 to $8 billion when they first launched. So Magic Leap One came out with Splash, right? They gave an Apple like event. They had demo kits. They had everybody amped, right? Their videos when they first announced Magic Leap were like AR in the palm of your hand. They had elephants in hands and had people shooting on the wall because weather was involved. And so there was a lot of talk about Magic Leap. Like everybody saw HoloLens, we're like, it's okay. But everybody's like, Magic Leap's supposed to be way better than HoloLens. Matter of fact, one of our fellow hosts, was one of the vice presidents at Magic Leap, and that was Travis. Travis was a VP at Magic Leap. People care to forget about that. Yeah. So Magic Leap was supposed to be the future. Put on these AR glasses. You had this little computer strapped to you. It's tethered, but it's tethered to your waist instead. And it's supposed to be the next level of AR. Where it came out, it was slightly better. Version 1 was slightly better than HoloLens 1. And the HoloLens was like, we're around your face, and we have no computer that's tethered to your body. You're totally free.
Right.
Magic Leap had lighter glasses. None of this stuff looked good. Right, looked like something out of the future that nobody really cared to wear. But it was a thing. It was a thing. So the company kind of lost money because their whole thing was, we're building the metaverse first. We're gonna build it. We're gonna build it right on top of Earth, and we're gonna allow the metaverse to be around us. So when everybody buys their Magic Leap glasses, they can immediately put them on and walk outside, and the metaverse is there for them. That was their dream. That was their dream.
It's a big sell.
It was. They lost a lot of money. People lost faith in the company. They let go a lot of people from the company. Let go of probably the majority of people that worked for them. They let them all go. They moved all these people to Florida, had it selling, had some of the best talent in the industry working for them. Let them go, and it disappeared. The president, who's the founder, he resigned. They got a new president to come in, Peggy. I forgot Peggy's last name, and she tilted the company. She pivoted. She was like, this is for education and for business. We should focus on that to sell this thing. The Magic Leap headset costs like $2,500, $3,000 actually. And so they realized this is not going to go into consumer hands, and it's not attractive. So when Magic Leap 2 got announced today, and we saw it on CNET today, everybody was shocked by it. Like, whoa, there was no talk about it, nothing. We thought the company kind of died and went under the radar. And they came back and we have a better headset. It's a wider field of view. It's way better than the first version. And it does something that we always talked about the Apple glasses doing, where the lens dim and it puts you in like a VR stage. So it dims the surroundings around you, emphasizes on an inner lens to project 3D images in front of you, similar to what VR does. And they have demos they're running of this right now. So they're actually showing it to press. So Magic Leap 1 it was nice. Then Magic Leap 2 came out and everybody's like, wow, this looks amazing. It looks way better. It's a cool looking glasses, a little bit updated. But is it going to be better than the Apple glasses? I don't know. And the price point does matter. Price point does matter. If Magic Leap says we're dropping these headsets and they're $9.99, it may kick us some dust, because we know what happens when Apple does it. It's going to be I've already told people the cheap one for Apple is going to be $19.99, and the expensive one's going to be $5.99, $4,999. That's what Apple's going to do. They're going to have the normal one, the Ultra, the Max, and the Pro version of it. And it's going to be quite expensive. But Apple is set for this because they understand body mechanics. They have the right camera systems and everything, and they have patents to all that stuff. So it's going to be really interesting what happens now.
So sell me and the audience on why we would even want AR glasses. when you can just go get you a pair of Facebook's Oculuses for $3.99.
So VR encloses you into a space. AR, when done appropriately and properly, it doesn't enclose you in a space. It allows you to
Okay.
roam anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So, for example, you're in your car, your directions come up on your glasses. You know, like there could be other signs like billboards up in the way. A phone call comes in on your glasses. You can see who that person is, and you can talk to them. You have problems with machinery. The machinery shuts down. You can put on the glasses, and it can find out where the problem is. And you can sit there and look at it. You can look at
Right.
somebody's x-rays and pull their body apart and look at their muscle tissue, look at their bones, look at their organs move. You can sit there and figure out what's going on with them. There's 1,000,001 uses for AR, augmented reality. You're thinking about putting a doorway into your house. You can actually have your house blueprints in and look around your house and see where the structurally sound parts of your house are. And you know it. And you can actually put a door there and look at it and test if that looks good or not.
All right.
And if it
Now,
looks
I
good, you
certainly
can send that off to somebody to actually make it and do it for you.
Now, I certainly understand some of the practical reasons that you
Mm-hmm.
can use it for, especially in the commercial space, right?
Mm-hmm. General
Like you're saying
consumer.
with architecture. Now here's the thing: like if you are trying to sell this to a general consumer, somebody that spends an hour and a half of their day surfing TikToks, how does this serve them?
It doesn't really serve them well, but what you can do, say you like the NFL or NBA, you can
Okay,
watch the game on the TV, but you have a table in front of you. You look down on the
okay,
table in front of you, and it shows a 3D view of what play just happened, and you can see the replay there, and you can move it around, zoom in and zoom out of the replay, so you can
that's
see
cool.
exactly what happened. You can see all the plays they run in Madden on the
Hmm.
Madden screen during a real football game. You can see the replays
Hmm.
on the table and see what happens and zoom in at
Now I'm
certain
looking.
parts.
Now I'm sitting here looking at some of the imagery that
Hmm.
you can see in some of the videos, and
Yes.
you all of that sounds really cool. If I'm walking down the street and let's just say,
Hmm.
I get like, AR street directions for my new heads up display that can show me where the sales are and all that. All that sounds
Hmm.
good.
Yes.
But I'm looking at this and I'm seeing all these wires. Um, I ain't feeling that, my guy. Like, I'm
It's
not going to be
one
walking down the
wire.
street with a
It's
bunch of
one
wires
wire from the
dangling
back
all
of
over the place.
it's one wire from the back of the headset that goes into the pocket PC. So you wear the PC. It's an AMD PC you wear on your hip or put in your
Okay.
pocket. It's called the puck. So you have this little puck PC on you, and you put it in your
Okay.
pocket, and that's where the
See, I'm
PC is. Like
looking
right
at this.
there, like if you
Yeah.
look at the screen, we just showed the Hololens 2. We just showed the Hololens 2, and on the Hololens 2, the PC's in the back of the headset and in the size of the glasses. That's thick
Okay.
and cumbersome. So they took all
Right.
of that and put it into the side of the headset for the most part. So the
Okay.
headset itself is hardware, so it's lighter on your face because you
Let me
get
let me
neck
ask the
fatigue. Hmm.
let me ask the chat this, because I don't want it to be just my opinion. If you are paying attention and listening, hey, so are you willing to buy something like this, even if it was at an affordable price point? Let's just say price isn't an option and just functionality is the thing. Somebody just gave it to you. Are you wearing this in the streets, even for free? Chuck, are you wearing this in the streets, even if price wasn't even a matter?
No, I'm
Even
not wearing
if
it in the
price wasn't
streets. I think it's an entertainment thing. It would be for entertainment at home. I wouldn't wear it in the
okay.
streets. I think we'll be there in AR once we have it as a standard pair of rim horned glasses, a little
Okay.
bit similar to the rim horned glasses style design. Um, it's not fashionable. And
Hmm.
if you're looking to get mugged, yeah, you wear it because somebody's gonna realize you got a thousand. It's like having your phone in your hand, holding it with two
Yeah.
fingers, your thumb and your point forefinger, and just holding it up like
Mhm.
this. Somebody's gonna hit you and take your phone no matter what. Because you should know
Right.
better.
Okay.
You know.
Uh, Huge shout out to the chat again. Hey, the Geeks Network has jumped in and said, yo, I've tried the HoloLenses and it was amazing. And I can see the future use cases. He said, I'd love to have something like that in the home. Uh, if Apple, and it has been rumored that Apple is going to be jumping into the headset world, be it
Mhm.
AR or VR or a combination of the both of
Yeah.
them. Um,
Let 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 me give Peggy her due. Her last name is Johnson, Peggy Johnson. She's the CEO of Magic Leap. So she may have turned the company around with this, and that's amazing.
Okay.
And it's going to let people say you hire a woman to do a man's job and then fix the business when it falls apart. So that is exciting. And
Yeah.
this is not a production unit. This is their prototype unit. So who knows what it looks like when it goes into production? But it looks better than the first one. It just naturally looks better than the first one. So it's one step closer.
It certainly is something to be desired aesthetically. I'm curious to see what Apple does with theirs, because for them, it's really about presentation. Apple's big thing that they stand on is presentation. And I can't see Apple having a device that's going to have a bunch of wires dangling all over the place.
I agree.
They hated wires. They hated wires so much that they eliminated headphone jacks on their phones to keep their product pretty and pristine, and things dangling and swinging and blowing into the wind. So I am going to be curious to see how Apple responds to it as well.
But Apple just dropped a brand new computer, right? They dropped the Mac Studio. People were expecting the Mac Pro out of it. Instead, they got a super core computer, and when you soup the machine all the way up, it's like $7,000. So
yeah, to get all the bells and whistles, it's like $8,000. It's like right at $8,000 to get everything.
It's like $7,999, and then you buy the new screen with it. You're looking at like a $15,000 computer rig.
Yeah, but they're not selling it for casuals. That is
no, that's prosumer.
It's prosumer and above. Yes, it's for prosumer and above. So the price point, and once you get to a certain professional level, it's not about the price point as much as it is functionality. And I think that is what they're pushing more so. Because you're right, your average Joe's looking at that price. You talking, I ain't paying no 4 stacks for a computer that doesn't even have a monitor. That's ridiculous. And that's just like the regular level. No, $2,000 is for the base level. 4,000 is for the ultra, the chip with the ultra, and then 8,000 is for all the specs.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Your average Joe ain't paying for that.
Yeah, and that's just for the computer. That doesn't include the screen, which is on top of that. Yeah, but they do have an audience for that. But Apple knows it says, hey, we have the studio display and we have the Mac Studio, and we can sell this $8,000 computer without a screen. We can sell a 5K screen, and we can sell it at the highest price possible.
Yeah, because it's all about functionality and prestige. It's all about the prestige of the equipment. That's what they're selling, even if it's worth that particular price point. Speaking of that, that was an interesting transition. I know we're getting a little bit close to closing out our time, but we didn't really talk about Mac's introduction into some of the product lines that they had coming out. They introduced some new phones, some new tablets. Well, actually, a recreation of one of the phones, the SE. New tablets. It's got some of the same stuff.
And it's not an SE
big
phone
show
anymore.
was their standalone computer. What is it about the phone? The SE phone? Yeah, it's not really special anymore.
Special edition. And it's not special anymore. They should call it classic. They call it CE, classic edition. We call it the classic edition phone.
And it's more expensive than the previous one. The old one was like $399. This one is like $425, I think, something like that.
And they need to change the name of the iPad to something else because it's so simple and basic. They just gutted it and put new innards in it, put their new chips in it. But we put our new chips in it. The chips we're trying to get away from A chips. They're probably tired of making A chips. I'm trying to put the M chips in everything, which makes total sense. The problem is when you put M chips in everything, I want all my PC apps, all my Mac apps to work across everything.
Like, it makes no sense. You're going to run into some problems, especially for smaller companies. That's not trying to make that easier for Macs to understand. Yeah, that's going to happen.
But Apple can do it. Their software. My desktop GarageBand should work 1-to-1 with my iPad Pro.
Well, yeah, I think within its own ecosystem is fine. Yeah, within its own ecosystem, most of the stuff works.
They don't have it over. I have the iPad version of the apps, which is a lighter version of the apps. However, my iPad Pro is more powerful than my MacBook Pro.
Oh, Yeah, I can believe that if it has the
And
M1 in it.
so
Yeah.
why is it's heads and tails faster than my MacBook Pro? Heads and tails
hmm
faster and more powerful.
hmm
Why can't
hmm
I run the program, the native PC program on my iPad? I should be able to run it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yes,
that's probably intentional. They're not trying to
it
make it
definitely
easier
is
for you to
intentional,
use
and Apple needs to
PC
fix
stuff
that
on their properties. No, they want you to be an
by the newer
indentured
version of the
servant
PC.
to their ecosystem, and they're not going to make it easier
You
for
know,
anybody to leave.
so now if
Yeah.
I use something on GarageBand on my computer, I had to jump through a bunch of bells and whistles to send it over the cloud to my iPad, and I lose some of the functionality that I naturally had on my computer. So if I bought a Mac Studio, and I know that old editions of GarageBand, I'm using GarageBand as a simple app,
Okay.
blows through on my Mac Studio, burns it up. I take the file and I send it into the cloud. In my iCloud, I grab it on my iPad. I can't do the same mixing. I don't have the same mixing tools. They strip me down to some of my tools and stuff. They don't have to because
Mm,
my iPad is more powerful than my MacBook Pro
mm,
by at least 5 generations.
mm,
But if I send it to my MacBook Pro from my Mac Studio, it works just fine, no problems.
mm. Okay.
You know, the
Yeah.
software doesn't work harder than for the lowest common denominator computer. They don't
hmm
obsolete their computers at Apple. They keep them in the ecosystem as long as possible because they
hmm
know people don't like giving up their Macs.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, if you build, good stuff that's super expensive, people want to hold on to
Hold on
tend to
to it
have a
longer.
tendency to want to hold on
Exactly.
to it a lot longer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So,
yeah, but if I can buy what is it? A $7,999 computer, a 200 and $2,500 monitor,
mhm.
and I'll have me a really nice computer. Then if I put all the programs I want on it, I got a $11,000 machine.
Mm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't need that processing, but I guess somebody does. I guess,
Yeah, the type of processing that they're needing, I personally don't know anybody that needs
and
that level of processing. But I guess if if you're doing like what is it, real time 3D compensations and stuff like that,
mhm.
you probably are going to need that. But even people that do like small time video editing, that's far too much
Yeah.
power than what you need.
One thing that Rodney said for Geekish Network in the chat, the field of vision for the Magic Leap 2 is larger. It's substantially larger, and that's the
Oh, all right.
biggest thing. That is the
Okay.
biggest thing. And the way the article said when he did this video, before it was about the size of a card, like a
Mm-hmm.
small card. This way,
Mm-hmm.
portrait view. Now it's like a novel, like a paperback novel in your face. And that's very important.
Ah.
Field of view is so important in AR. You
Mm,
want the widest field of view possible. So it's not as
okay.
jarring. But it's dope. You get it right, it just works. But back onto the Apple discussion. I want, if you're pushing the M chip into everything, you're putting an M chip in everything, allow me to use all M chip programs across. I can use all my mobile programs on my Mac. Why can't I use some of my Mac programs that are capable on my mobile device?
Yeah, well, that's the big thing, and I don't think they're
Yeah,
going to change for a while. There is a
they're not going to
separation
change it at all, I
between
don't think. Play to make
there's a
money.
separation between what you can do on operas. That's why you have different OSs. You have
Hmm.
your phone and tablet
iOS,
OSs, and
you
it's
have your Mac
different.
OS. Hmm.
Yeah, and I don't think
Hmm.
they'll blend that for quite some time.
Hmm.
People have been wanting that and clamoring for that for years,
Years, yeah.
years.
But
And it's
now they
not a
don't have an
question of
excuse.
is it possible. They have whatever
Before
their
they say,
reasons to not
"Oh,
do it.
we have different chipset and the architecture is so far different,
hmm
we can't do it." Now the architecture is closer in design that you can
hmm
technically do it. You can technically do it. And plus, you can offload a lot of the computing processing into the cloud these days. I just need a client on my machines. And you're forcing me to use a iCloud anyway. Let me do some of my processing up in that iCloud. Adobe's doing it.
Yeah, but they want you to buy the gear. That's why they want you to get locked into the gear and then get sucked into a cyclical redo over and over and over again. You know, there was a time, like, I mean, we always talk about the Nokia. That phone had an average lifespan of like seven years or something like that. It was something insane. Whereas, you know, your typical phone now, and it's not just Mac, it's just phones in general. You know, the average lifespan is like 3 years. You know, you get 3 years for $1,000 phone, which is ridiculous.
Sad. It's ridiculous.
But once you're in the cycle and once you're in the ecosystem, it's hard to get out.
It's hard to get out. Yeah. But I agree with the M1 GPU is like a AMD Vega chip with a higher emphasis on computing horsepower versus real-time 3D rendering. That is a problem too that Apple needs to address. Why can't I run Unreal Engine like it's blazing through Unreal Engine? I should open up the Meta Creator and be able to build humans, and it'd be remarkable on my $7,000 Mac Studio computer. They definitely need to get this sorted out. They definitely need to sort that out. 3D rendering is such a big thing these days. You need to sort it out. You got these chips that can crunch up all kinds of calculations, but 3D rendering is struggling with them. Figure that out. You know, I want my Fortnite to run better on my $7,000 Mac computer than it does on my $500 Xbox or my $299 Switch. I'm just saying.
Well, it would be definitely interesting when we see the benchmarks come out. I don't think the benchmarks will probably be released for at least another 2 to 3 more weeks, probably even longer than that. You get a chance to see what an $8,000 rig can do in real time. Until
it
then,
can't
we're kind of speculating.
That well. I know that people are already talking about it can't handle Unreal Engine. So I need Apple to fly out to North Carolina to Cary, North Carolina, and sit down with Epic and Unreal and be like, look, you all are the king of the 3D rendering, 3D pipeline right now. We need to work with you guys. Real time pipeline.
But is that really who Apple is targeting?
I mean, for a professional grade computer, you are, because you're targeting people that do animation, 3D animation, and so you really want these people on board so they can make real time changes.
That is definitely a segment that
pre-rendering is dying. Going for.
Certainly not disagreeing with that, but I think Apple hasn't been trying to go for the strictly corporate professional segment for quite some time. I think they're going more for people that need hardcore processing power that are a little bit smaller. You know, I think that's.
I don't need much to compose a film. Yeah. I don't need a lot to compose a film. And besides, I can send it to AWS, have it completely backed up, and AWS can crunch all that for me. Lightning quick. Well, so if you make me want to do it on my PC, you got to cover all my bases for me.
Yeah, I don't know if that is their priority. That group of people is their priority. I just don't think that's it.
So they're not trying to make a computer for Marvel people or for Illumination or for Lucasfilms.
You're talking about
people that make Batman DC.
They're trying to reach people that the larger segment that does higher end stuff at home that has a larger population disparity. I mean, the population size. They're trying to go for a niche, the largest of the niche, right? You're talking about like a few hundred people that could be using the product.
Are they going for the pros?
Maybe a couple thousand. They're trying to go for tens of thousands of people that are on that level that isn't narrowed down to one particular
thing. Tens of thousands people afford a $7,000 computer.
Not everybody can, but there is a market for it. Like there's a reason why the computer sells. Like
why would I buy a $7,000?
Not only does it sells, it typically backlogs. So it's not a question of is there people for it. There's absolutely people for it.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why
those people are usually called professionals.
That price point sells out. There's a waiting list for that price point. For the most expensive one, there is a waiting list. That's how much it sells out. Yes, every single time.
Because I wonder if anybody's waiting for it, because they're building the thing in Texas too.
The very first thing that sells out on the super high end on those computers is the full spec'd out one. Every single time. It's the same way for the phones. It's always a waiting list. So it's not a question of demand. The demand is there.
Well, it's just I always get the high end phone because it's the one that doesn't sell out. It's the one that stays alive because nobody needs all the stuff. Nobody needs a terabyte. People are like, I don't need a terabyte for what? But yeah, I mean, I can see people saying, like professionals saying, I need this computer.
Right.
That's who's saying they need this computer. And if it's not, and for $7,000, the rig that a professional can build will crush this machine.
Probably.
Even at the high chip prices. They'll get two 3090s in there with a thread ripper in it, and they'll get the best NVIDIA chips they have out there in the market and crush this machine.
Maybe, probably.
Yes. And they can play video games on it.
This I know. It will sell out.
It will. And now you know what happens.
And not only will it sell out, the people that are buying it for the use that they have, it will absolutely satisfy that market completely.
Yeah. But if I only make 100 machines, of course it's going to sell out.
I mean, I'm just saying, Apple is trying to go volume now.
I mean, the Mac Pro sold out because they didn't make a lot of them. Everybody knows that. They didn't make a lot. They made it in Texas. They're an American company. They knew there's not a high demand for the computer. They made just enough to cover the market that needed
it. However you want to digest it, it sells. It sells big. It sells out.
But they could sell millions of them.
However you want to explain it. They do. Ain't no good. They sell millions, but there's a reason why Apple is one of the most profitable companies in the world.
Absolutely. They know how to product their product. They know how.
It ain't happenstance. Yeah, there's a reason.
They're like, we can sell 100,000 of a $7,000 machine, and that's better than selling $1 million of a $1,000 machine to them. And it gets enough buzz. The $7,000 machine gets a lot of buzz behind it. The marketing behind it is impeccable. But they sell it to professionals that can't use it in 3D rendering that well. That's a problem.
You're talking about a very small niche on a very large pie. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I'm saying.
I understand the demands of that, but you're talking about a sliver of a large piece of pie. Hey,
not for this machine, though. It is the main consumer for this machine. I think it's the main consumer for this machine. Is somebody so the professional spending $7,000 also wants to do 3D rendering. They also want to composite special effects in their films. Most TV shows are on special effects, right? Most TV shows have special effects. They do 3D rendering. It's not to play games. It's literally to make stuff for film and television.
You know what? You, sir, go ahead. I'm gonna give you because I know we're getting close to the thing. Go ahead and give your last give your last closing comments on this, because I want you to go ahead and get it all out your system and be like, damn it, Steve Jobs, stop making this bullshit.
No, it's not Steve Jobs. Steve's dead. The businessman took over. Steve wouldn't have made this machine. He would have made something better than this machine. You go to all the Facebook threads, you go to any thread, people are like, come on, man. Come on. You soldered two chips together next to each other. And so Steve's dead. That's always been my mantra. Since Steve has died, Steve's dead. And I said that about most products that come off the Apple assembly line now. Oh, Steve would have done this. Steve would have done something different. He would have pushed it. This feels like a money grab for people they know are professionals that they can't venture in from traditional filmmaking. That are not venturing in from traditional filmmaking. What Apple doesn't realize, and they should realize, is most people aren't in traditional filmmaking anymore or digital filmmaking. They're in 3D rendering world. They should know that because they got Apple Plus with Frontier sitting on it. and all that's 3D rendered. That whole environment is 3D rendered. They got C. The whole entire environment in C is 3D rendered.
Yeah. Hey, well, y'all heard it here from somebody who was actually in the craft. Hey, that's one of the great things about being a part of the Geekish Network. You get to actually hear from people that actually use these products and services so that you can take their word for it. That is going to conclude this evening's show. Happy hour. Thank you so much for kicking it with us for an entire hour. Hope you didn't get too faded listening to the pros and cons over some of this film, television, and Apple products as well. Hey,
and I got stock in the company. I want my stock to go up. Damn it.
GeekBeast is now in podcast form as well. So if you miss our live streams, don't worry about it. You can just hop on to one of those fruit products and join their podcast properties as well. Or you can hop on some of the more controversial platforms such as Spotify. Listen, it don't matter where you go. Somebody's going to have an issue with whatever the platform that you're on. Regardless of that, you can find us there on that controversial platform. You can please subscribe to us on our YouTube channel as well. If you're already watching this, what are you doing? Go and hit that subscription button. Click the bell icon. Of course, give us those thumbs up. /The Geekish Network if you're listening to us, and also /The Geekish Network on Facebook as well. Yo, those algorithm loves likes. Hit that like button. Twitch is still alive, ladies and gentlemen. The Frankenstein's monster of Twitch is still out here getting clicks. But we're not focusing on the same things as you will see on the YouTube channel. We're still doing game streams, charity streams, cooking streams, and a lot more goodies that are going to be unleashed in the future. Hey, if you already have an Amazon Prime subscription, you're already halfway to the light, ladies and gentlemen. Just go ahead and use that account to sub to us through Prime Gaming. It costs you nothing, but it helps us out tremendously. Hey, thank you to Rodney, the voice in the sky, one of the co-producers on the Geekish Network, along with my amazing host who is back. Ladies and gentlemen, my man Chuck is killing the game as always, dropping gems and sipping whiskey. Digital Click, hey, they provided all of this amazingness, all of this graphic design that you see around us. They make us look good so that we have great shows. They also help with marketing as well. It is one of the companies that the Geekish Network trusts, and you should trust them too. Come check us out next week because we have additional shows outside of just this. I know you love seeing our lovely faces, that you can check out Saturdays as well because we have is it on? This Saturday's Tech Nubian. Maybe okay. Yeah, so we got Tech Nubian for tomorrow, so you can check that out. On Monday, right around the corner, we got Pod Garage, one of our great shows that deals with the Star Wars culture. It's always some insightful, fun things that's going on. Possibly Origins Illustrated on Tuesday. We will absolutely let you know if those ladies are going to be available because they give you an interesting point of view from a feminine perspective. And Wednesdays is Binge Worthy, where we sit there and break down some of these long shows. We break it down for you. We'll save you a week's worth of watching and let you know if it's worth your time. Tons of fun. I think that's about all I got to say. Hey, Chuck, man, you got anything to say to the beautiful people out there?
Oh, no. Good night. God bless.
It's a beautiful thing. We out of here. Peace.